Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ringside Cinema. I am Money Mike, and officially, my WrestleMania week plans are set. I have my WrestleMania tickets. I got my tickets for Raw, SmackDown, and NXT Stand and Deliver. So everything is set except the WWE Hall of Fame. Because the WWE has not announced anything yet in regards to the Hall of Fame. We do know Triple H is going into the Hall of Fame. That's already been announced. But we don't know who will be joining him. But I do want to go ahead and make my predictions on who I think who is going to go into the Hall of Fame and join Triple H in this year's class. But as always, go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button, as I do produce weekly wrestling content here on this channel, and I will be live streaming the WWE Elimination Chamber on Saturday, March 1st, as we will find out officially who will be facing Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. So, on Wednesday, the WWE Hall of Fame rumors of a certain tag team that has been long overdue for their Hall of Fame induction started hitting the internet because the WWE added Demolition, Axe, and Smash back to the WWE Alumni website, or the page for all the, where they list all the alumni in WWE. They've been added. Now, mind you, they've not been there before, as they were part of a lawsuit previously against the WWE, and obviously under Vince, that pretty much meant you were blacklisted from the WWE. So now, what's very interesting is that on Wednesday morning, the Illuminati web page added Demolition to the website amidst all these rumors of potentially the Hardys going into the Hall of Fame. And I originally had the Hardys as my tag team because of the connection with TNA Wrestling and obviously everything the Hardys did in the WWE. But I think this is going to be the confirmation for me to officially predict that Demolition, long overdue, will be going into the 2025 WWE Hall of Fame. Now, as for the women, boy, this was tough. I mean, because I could have chose Victoria, Michelle McCool. I could even went with Gail Kim. But I went with Mickie James, and I think Mickie James will probably be inducted by Trish Stratus. One of the reasons why I leaned towards Mickie James was because, number one, she's a part of that new show, Legends and Future Greats. And I feel like the WWE is going to want to promote that show, and with Mickie James being one of the coaches on that show, I feel like her Hall of Fame induction, while very worthy, by the way, I think it's going to be as a way to promote that show, promote that she's one of the coaches on the show, and obviously, Trish Stratus, she showed up in the Royal Rumble. Could she be doing more appearances? I mean, look, the Elimination Chamber is in Toronto. It's her hometown. Could we see Trish show up in the Elimination Chamber? Not the actual match, but just as a guest appearance in some form. But Trish inducted Mickie James into the Hall of Fame makes a lot of sense. Also, her husband, Nick Aldis, happens to be the SmackDown general manager. So he could also do the induction of Mickie James and induct his own wife into the Hall of Fame. every year the WWE does tend to induct someone who is no longer with us. And I believe that this year, that inductee will be Brian Pillman, who would obviously be inducted by his son, Lexus King, who is down in NXT. Now, in a world today where kayfabe is dead and the backstage politics is brought out on TV, Brian Pillman was the original shooter, no pun intended, by the way, to that segment with Stone Cold Steve Austin on Raw. But he was one of the guys that really, in the 90s, really started the whole blurring the lines between kayfabe and reality. And when he decided to use WCW, or he got his release from WCW and used that to pretty much pit WCW and WWE and ECW all in a bidding war for his services, he actually went to Eric Bischoff and asked for his official release and wanted Bischoff to give him the official papers to make it seem like it was real when it was supposed to have been a part of a storyline. But Pillman was smart enough to use it in a way to pit the companies against each other for his services, and thus really was the original shooter in pro wrestling, the one that really was able to blur the lines of reality and kayfabe with his loose cannon gimmick. And I think for me, it's all set up. You have Lexus King, his son, down there at NXT. I think it's the perfect timing to induct him into the Hall of Fame. If the WWE does want, I could see them having Stone Cold Steve Austin induct Brian Pillman along with Lexus King, because of Stone Cold Steve Austin, Brian Pillman were known as the Hollywood Blondes in WCW. So I could see the WWE going with Stone Cold Steve Austin over Lexus King, or just having both induct Pillman into the Hall of Fame. And last but not least, there has to be a celebrity induction into the Hall of Fame every year. And for me, it was tough, because I had three choices. Number one, Cyndi Lauper. Number two, Johnny Knoxville. Or three, because it's in Las Vegas, Floyd Mayweather Jr. And I was trying to figure out, okay, who makes the most sense? Now, I think there's a lot of wrestling fans who want to see Cyndi Lauper be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I think it is long overdue for her, because she was the original celebrity to bring wrestling, or bring attention to wrestling in the 80s with the Rock and Wrestling Connection. And, you know, there's so much of Cyndi Lauper's involvement in the first WrestleMania with Hulk Hogan, Mr. T. And we know Mr. T got inducted into the Hall of Fame already, so why not Cyndi Lauper? Now, for me, I was thinking, who could induct Cyndi Lauper? And I was like, well, there's Hulk Hogan. Okay, maybe not. But that's why I said, okay, maybe not Cyndi Lauper, but Johnny Knoxville. And you have Sami Zayn induct Johnny Knoxville into the Hall of Fame. Because, let's be honest, Sami Zayn, Johnny Knoxville had that rivalry a couple years ago. And their match at WrestleMania a couple years ago had no business being as fun and entertaining as it was. And kudos to Johnny Knoxville, even after Sami Zayn was a babyface. Johnny Knoxville would still go to shows and he would heckle Sami Zayn and keep kayfabe alive. I love that. It's fun. That's what makes wrestling fun. Like, he plays along with it. And that's why, to me, I think Johnny Knoxville could be inducted by Sami Zayn into the WWE Hall of Fame this year. And then, of course, you have the boxing element with Floyd Mayweather Jr. It's in Las Vegas. Obviously, Paul White, the Big Show, is in is over in AEW, so I don't think he's going to be available for induction or to be the inductor of Floyd Mayweather. So even though those were the three I was deciding between, and I think just because of who you have available, I think Johnny Knoxville is going to be the celebrity inductee into the 2025 Hall of Fame, inducted by Sami Zayn. Comment below, who do you want to see in the WWE Hall of Fame? Do you think I'll be right? Comment below. And as always, I've been your host, Money Mike, and you've been watching Ringside Cinema.
Ringside Cinema, living out the dream, living out the dream, living out the dream. Lights down, time to go. Cheers for heroes we know. Ringside forever. Oh, wrestling never gets old.